My name is Ryan Walker. I had spent 15 years fighting my way through Riverport. I started as a street vendor selling phone cases. Now, I own 3 companies. My net worth was not much in the eyes of true old money families, around $100 million. But to ordinary people, I was already the textbook example of a self-made comeback. And today, this so-called successful man, was standing at a grand celebration banquet, being played like a fool. The banquet hall was on the top floor of Riverport's most expensive 5-star hotel. The crystal chandeliers were so bright they hurt the eyes. Every dish on the table was top tier. Australian lobster, Japanese wagyu, French wine. A full 80 tables. What day was it? The 20th anniversary celebration of Grandview Group. And also the inauguration ceremony for Grandview Group's new CEO, my wife, Sophia Shaw. Yes, you heard that right. Grandview Group's largest shareholder was me. I held 51%. And the CEO was my wife, Sophia Shaw. When I thought about it, it was almost ironic. Sophia and I had been married for 7 years. 7 years ago, I had only just started to make something of myself. She was a top finance graduate from a prestigious university. Her father, George Shaw, had once been vice chairman of Riverport's Chamber of Commerce. He looked down on me, his rough, self-made son-in-law. But Sophia had chosen me anyway. She said, "Ryan Walker, you have ambition. You have courage. One day, you'll become someone great." Back then, I was so moved I nearly knelt before her. I thought meeting a woman like that in this lifetime made everything worth it. So I worked desperately to make money. All year round, I was barely home. I traveled across the country for business. At my worst, to secure one order, I squatted outside a client's company for 3 days and 3 nights. I no longer remembered how many doors were slammed in my face, how much alcohol I drank, how many times I ended up in the hospital with stomach bleeding. I only remembered that every time I came home and saw Sophia's gentle smile, I felt everything was worth it. Later, I finally made it big. I acquired 30% of Grandview Group's shares. Together with the scattered shares I had bought before, I pieced together 51%. I handed Grandview Group over to Sophia. I said, "Wife, you studied finance. You understand management better than I do. You be the CEO." At the time, Sophia hugged me and cried for a long time. She said, "Ryan Walker, don't worry. I will never disappoint you." I believed her. I truly did. But reality slapped me hard across the face. Today was the celebration banquet. Many people had come. Business leaders, political figures, media outlets. Sophia wore a custom red gown and stood on stage, radiant beneath the lights. Holding a microphone, she gave a long speech of gratitude, thanking the board for their trust, thanking the employees for their hard work, thanking her family for their support. When she said family, she deliberately smiled toward me. I smiled back. I picked up my glass, preparing to go up and cut the cake with her. But at that moment, a man walked onto the stage. I knew him. His name was Marcus Lane. He was clean and fair-skinned, wearing gold-rimmed glasses. He looked refined and gentle. He was Grandview Group's chief financial officer. He had been hired only last year. Supposedly, he had studied abroad and spent several years on Wall Street. I had always admired him. I thought he was young, capable, and full of ideas. But I had not expected him to appear here. And I especially had not expected him to appear this way. Marcus walked onto the stage and took a red envelope from his suit pocket. Then he got down on one knee, facing Sophia. The entire hall exploded. The hand holding my wine glass froze in midair. Sophia froze for a second. Then she smiled. She accepted the envelope and opened it. Inside was a bank card. Marcus picked up the microphone. His voice was gentle like water. "Sophia, today is your big day. I wanted to give you a special gift. This card holds 5.55 million. It is all my savings from the past few years. The password is your birthday. I want to use it to prove my feelings for you." The whole room erupted. Everyone stood, craning their necks toward the stage. Some whistled. Some applauded. Some took out their phones to record. Reporters' flashes snapped non-stop. Sophia blushed. She lowered her head and looked at that bank card. The smile at the corner of her mouth could not be hidden no matter how hard she tried. She said softly, "Marcus, what are you doing? There are so many people here." Marcus stood and held her hand. "I don't care how many people are here. I only care about you. Sophia, I know you are already married. But I can't control myself. I love you." I stood where I was. The wine glass in my hand began to tremble. The champagne swayed inside the glass and spilled a few drops onto the back of my hand. Cold. I looked at the two people on stage. They stood together. A handsome man and a beautiful woman. They truly looked perfect for each other. Sophia wore a red dress. Marcus wore a black suit. They looked like newlyweds. And me? I wore an ordinary dark blue suit, standing in the middle of the crowd. No one looked at me. Everyone's eyes were on them. I took a deep breath, set down the wine glass, then pushed through the crowd and walked toward the stage. Someone recognized me and whispered, "Hey, isn't that her husband? There's going to be a show." Wow, that's humiliating. I ignored those voices. Step by step, I walked to the stage. When Sophia saw me, the smile on her face stiffened. But she quickly regained composure. She let go of Marcus's hand and smiled at me. "Ryan, you're here. Let me introduce you." "This is no need." I interrupted her. "I know him." I looked at Marcus. He looked back at me. There was not the slightest panic in his eyes. Instead, there was provocation. As if he were saying, "What can you do to me?" I turned to Sophia. "Sophia, what is this supposed to mean?" Sophia frowned. "Ryan, don't misunderstand. Marcus only what?" I asked. "Only gave you a 5.55 million lovers gift in front of 80 tables of guests. Ryan Walker." Sophia's face darkened. "Stop making trouble here." "Making trouble?" I laughed. "My wife is being publicly confessed to by another man at a company celebration banquet. And I can't even ask one question. Marcus and I are innocent." Sophia raised her voice. "He is only my subordinate. He just gave me a gift. A 5.55 million gift?" I looked into her eyes. "Sophia Shaw, do you think I'll believe that?" The people below began whispering. Some said I was making a big deal out of nothing. Some said Sophia had gone too far. Others said this matter definitely was not simple. At that moment, Marcus spoke. He stepped in front of Sophia, blocking her behind him, and looked at me. "Mr. Walker, I know you are Sophia's husband and also the company's major shareholder. But my feelings for Sophia are real. I gave this gift with no other intention. I only wanted to make her happy. If you think it is inappropriate, I can take it back." His words sounded dignified and honorable. His face carried righteous grievance. As if he were the one being wronged. Sophia was moved by his words. She grabbed Marcus's hand and said to me, "Ryan Walker, look at yourself right now. How are you any different from a hysterical shrew? Marcus kindly gave me a gift, and you're causing a scene here. Do you even treat me as your wife?" Pain pierced through my heart. 7 years. For this woman, how much had I given? And what did I get in return? She was accusing me in front of everyone because of another man. I clenched my fists. My nails dug into my palms. The pain made me clear-headed. "Fine," I said. "Since you say the two of you are innocent, let me ask you one question. Sophia Shaw, do you know what day today is?" Sophia froze. "The 20th anniversary celebration of Grandview Group." "And?" I pressed. "What else?" She said impatiently, "What else? Ryan Walker, can you stop picking a fight at a time like this?" I looked into her eyes and spoke word by word. "Today is our 7th wedding anniversary." Sophia's expression froze. Her lips parted, but not a word came out. Marcus spoke beside her. "Mr. Walker, you can't blame Sophia for that. She has had so much going on today. Maybe she simply forgot for a moment." "Shut up." I roared. Marcus was startled and stepped back. Sophia came back to herself, her face ugly. "Ryan Walker, why are you yelling? It's just one anniversary. Is it worth making such a fuss?" "Yes," I said. "Because you didn't just forget our anniversary. You also forgot who gave you this company." Sophia's face turned instantly white. She knew what I was about to say. The guests below also quieted. Everyone pricked up their ears. I looked around at those familiar faces. Board members. Executives. Partners. These people once treated me with deep respect. But now, their eyes were full of amusement at my misery. Because they all knew. The matter between Sophia and Marcus had long since become an open secret inside the company. Only I had been kept in the dark. Sophia Shaw. I looked at her. You have been CEO for 3 years. Do you know how much the company's performance has declined? Last year, it lost 30 million. In the first half of this year, it lost another 15 million. Do you know that all of that money was filled in with my personal funds? Sophia bit her lip and said nothing. Marcus tried to speak again. I glared at him, and he obediently shut his mouth. Do you think I don't know how much salary you pay Marcus every month? Annual salary of 450,000, plus all kinds of subsidies and bonuses. A chief financial officer earning more than the general manager. Sophia Shaw, do you really think I'm stupid? The room stirred. People began whispering. Sophia's expression grew uglier and uglier. Finally, she could not hold back anymore. Ryan Walker. What right do you have to accuse me here? This company is my life's work. I work overtime until late night every day. Did you see that? What about you? Other than drinking with people outside, what else do you know how to do? Do you know how much I hate the way you come home drunk? Reeking of alcohol, throwing up everywhere. I've had enough. The more she spoke, the more emotional she became. Tears flowed down her face. She looked like the victim. Marcus quickly took out a tissue and wiped her tears. Sophia, don't cry. He isn't worth it. He doesn't understand you. I do. You gave so much for the company, but he never sees it. He's just a crude man. He doesn't understand your pain. Sophia leaned on his shoulder and cried even harder. That scene made my heart go cold. I suddenly found myself ridiculous. 7 years. I had risked my life to make money and give her the best life. And in the end? She would rather cry in another man's arms than tell me the truth. Enough. I waved my hand. Stop acting. Sophia Shaw, I'll give you 2 choices. First, make Marcus Lane get out. Come home with me, and I'll let this matter pass. Second, keep choosing him, and I withdraw my capital. You choose. The hall became frighteningly quiet. Everyone looked at Sophia, waiting for her decision. Sophia lifted her head and wiped her tears. She looked at me with an emotion I could not understand. It seemed like pity. And also mockery. Ryan Walker, she said calmly, do you really think you can still withdraw your capital? My heart dropped. What do you mean? Sophia smiled. That smile made my back turn cold. Do you think you are still Grandview Group's largest shareholder? Do you think that 51% stake is still in your hands? I froze. What did you do? Sophia took a document from her bag and threw it in front of me. Take a look yourself. I picked up the document and flipped it open. The moment I read the first line, my head buzzed as if it had exploded. It was an equity transfer agreement. It stated clearly that the 51% stake in Grandview Group under my name had been fully transferred to Sophia Shaw 3 months earlier. In the signature field was my handwriting. And my fingerprint. This is impossible. I roared. I never signed this. Really? Sophia said coldly. Look at the date again. I looked down. March 15th. That day, I had gotten drunk. I remembered negotiating business with a major client and drinking a lot. When I returned home, I had been completely unconscious. When I woke up the next morning, I remembered nothing. Could it be remember now? Sophia asked with a smile. That night, you came home drunk and said you wanted to give me a surprise. You said you wanted to transfer all your shares to me so I could feel secure. I said no at the time, but you insisted on signing. What? Now you refuse to admit it? My whole body trembled. I had absolutely no memory of this. But the signature on the document was indeed mine. Exactly the same. You set me up? I stared at her. Set you up? Sophia sneered. Ryan Walker, you signed it yourself while drunk. What does that have to do with me? Besides, we're husband and wife. What's yours is mine. Why are you making such a fuss? People below began laughing. The laughter grew louder and louder. Someone started clapping. Then applause spread through the hall. They were celebrating. Celebrating that I had been fooled by my own wife. Celebrating that I had gone from the major shareholder to a broke nobody. Marcus laughed too. He held Sophia's waist and looked down at me. Mr. Walker. No, I should call you just Ryan now. Thank you for your contributions to Grandview over the years. Don't worry. We'll run the company well. As for you, he deliberately paused. You may leave. I felt my blood rushing upward. My vision went black in waves. I clutched that equity transfer agreement, my fingers trembling. Sophia looked at me. There was not a trace of guilt in her eyes. Only coldness. And disgust. Security, she called. Escort Mr. Walker out. Several security guards came over and surrounded me. One of them reached out to grab my arm. Mr. Walker, please. I shook off his hand. Then stared at Sophia. Sophia Shaw, are you sure you want to do this? Sure, she answered without hesitation. Ryan Walker, we are over. From today onward, Grandview Group has nothing to do with you. I took a deep breath. Closed my eyes. When I opened them again, there was no longer anger in my gaze. Only calm. A frightening calm. Good. I said. Sophia Shaw, you will regret this. Sophia smiled. I'll be waiting. Marcus laughed along. Ryan, don't let us keep you. I turned. Step by step, I walked down from the stage. Behind me came laughter. Someone shouted, broke loser. Someone shouted, serves him right. Others whistled. I did not look back. But when I reached the entrance, I stopped. Because I saw someone walking in from outside. That person stunned everyone in the room. He wore an old, faded gray tunic suit and a pair of traditional cloth shoes. His hair was white. His face was deeply wrinkled. He looked like an ordinary old man. But behind him followed 4 men, each in a suit and sunglasses, carrying a powerful presence. The old man walked into the banquet hall and looked around. His gaze landed on me. Excuse me. Which one of you is Mr. Ryan Walker? His voice was not loud. But somehow, every person in the hall heard it clearly. I froze. I am. And you are? The old man took a business card from his pocket and offered it to me with both hands. I accepted it and looked down. It had only a name and a phone number. No company name. No title. Only 2 words, Henry Chen. My mind thundered. Henry Chen? I had heard that name before. In Riverport's business circle, many legends circulated. The most mysterious was about an old man named Henry Chen. They said he was a retired tycoon with terrifying connections and immense power. Very few people had ever seen him. Even fewer knew his true background. Why had he come here? And why was he looking for me by name? Mr. Walker, Henry Chen smiled. May I speak with you privately? Before I could respond, Sophia spoke behind me. Wait. Who are you? What are you doing here? Henry Chen turned and glanced at her. That look was very calm. No obvious emotion. But for some reason, Sophia stepped back. Marcus stepped forward and blocked her. Sir, this is a private banquet. If you have business here, you may speak to us. I am Grandview Group's CFO, Marcus Lane. Henry Chen did not look at him at all. He looked at me and asked again, Mr. Walker, is it convenient? I nodded. No matter who this man was, his appearance was not a bad thing for me right now. At least it pulled me out of that humiliating situation. Let's go. I followed Henry Chen out of the banquet hall. Behind me came Sophia's voice, playing mysterious. Then Marcus echoed, he probably hired him to act and save face. I did not look back. The elevator doors closed, cutting off those voices. Henry Chen pressed the button for the second basement level, then turned to me. Mr. Walker, you were wrong just now. I gave a bitter laugh. I made you witness something embarrassing. Not embarrassing. Henry Chen shook his head. I've seen plenty of things like this. Human hearts are unpredictable. Especially the person beside your pillow. I was silent for a while, then asked, Mr. Chen, why did you come to find me? Henry did not answer directly. He took an envelope from his pocket and handed it to me. Look at this first. I opened the envelope and took out its contents. It was a photo. A photo of a piece of land. I recognized it. It was in Riverport's eastern suburbs, near the development zone. 200 acres. 3 years ago, I had wanted to buy it. But because my capital was tight at the time, I gave up. Later, I heard it had been purchased by a mysterious buyer. This land, Henry Chen said, is now yours. I froze. Mine? Yes. Henry nodded. 3 years ago, you saved an old man. Do you remember? I remembered. 3 winters ago, I drove past an alley and saw an old man fall on the roadside. The weather was freezing, and there were few people around. I stopped, helped him up, and took him to the hospital. I paid his medical bills in advance and bought him a meal. The old man asked my name. I did not tell him. I thought it was just a small thing. After he was discharged from the hospital, I forgot about it. That old man was my elder brother, Henry Chen said. He has been looking for you, wanting to repay you. But his health is poor, and it is inconvenient for him to appear personally. So he asked me to handle this. This land is his gift to you. I held the photo, my hands trembling. 200 acres of land near the development zone. Based on the current market price, it was worth at least $75 million. $75 million. This is too valuable. I can't accept it. You must accept it. Henry's tone was firm. I know my brother's temper. Once he decides something, no one can change his mind. Besides, you need this money now, don't you? I fell silent. He was right. I now had nothing. No shares. No money. I did not even know where I would live tomorrow. This land was a life-saving straw to me. Mr. Chen, please thank your brother for me. I will visit him personally. Henry waved his hand. No rush. Handle your own affairs first. Also, there is one more thing. He took out another piece of paper from his pocket. It was a contract. This is an internal audit report from Grandview Group last year. Your wife Sophia Shaw misappropriated nearly $12 million from the company over the past 2 years. All of it was transferred into accounts under Marcus Lane's name. I took the contract and read it carefully. Every number. Every transaction. All of it was clear. So that was it. No wonder the company had kept losing money. The money had all been transferred away by the two of them. How did you get this report? I have my channels, Henry Chen smiled. You only need to know that it is real. The elevator reached the second basement level. Henry patted my shoulder. Young man, don't lose heart. Life rises and falls. That's how it is. What matters is that after falling, you can still get up. I believe in you. After saying that, he took his 4 bodyguards and got into a black Mercedes. Then disappeared into the depths of the parking lot. I stood where I was, clutching the contract and the photo. My heart was surging. Sophia Shaw. Marcus Lane. You think you have me trapped? Just wait. The real show has only just begun. I walked out of the parking lot and hailed a taxi. The driver asked where I was going. After thinking for a moment, I gave him an address. It was an old neighborhood in the south of the city. I had once rented a room there. The landlord was an old woman, kind and warm. Now, I could only settle there temporarily. In the car, I called my lawyer. Attorney Carter, help me investigate something. What is it? Grandview Group's financial flows from last March. Can you access them? I can, but I'll need time. How long? 3 days. Good. The sooner, the better. After hanging up, I looked out at the rushing city streets. Riverport was still Riverport. Tall buildings. Endless traffic. But my world had turned upside down. The taxi stopped at the entrance of an old residential compound. I paid and got out. Looking up at the 6-story old building, I saw peeling walls and a dim corridor. Compared with the 5-star hotel earlier, it was another world entirely. I smiled bitterly. So this was what falling from heaven into hell felt like. I went upstairs and knocked. The door opened. The landlord, Mrs. Lewis, stared when she saw me. Ryan? Why are you here? Mrs. Lewis, I want to rent the old room again. Has it been rented out? No. I kept it for you. Mrs. Lewis quickly said, come in. I entered. The room was tiny, only about 20 square meters. 1 bed. 1 desk. 1 closet. But it was very clean. It was obvious Mrs. Lewis cleaned it often. Ryan, didn't you become rich? Why are you back here again? She asked with concern. Something happened. I'll stay here for now. Sigh. Life is like that. Who can always have smooth sailing? Mrs. Lewis comforted me. It's fine. You can stay. Don't worry about the rent. Thank you, Mrs. Lewis. After seeing her off, I lay on the bed. There was a water stain on the ceiling shaped like a bird. I stared at that bird, my mind racing. The situation was terrible. My shares were gone. My money was gone. But I had two cards in my hand. A piece of land worth 75 million. And evidence that Sophia had misappropriated funds. If either card was played properly, I could turn the game around. But the question was, how? Expose the evidence directly? No. Sophia would deny it, perhaps even accuse me in return. She would claim I fabricated evidence. After all, she now controlled Grandview Group. Public opinion was also on her side. I needed a more secure method. A way to strike once and make sure she could never turn things around. I closed my eyes and slowly thought. I did not know how much time passed before my phone rang. It was Attorney Carter. Ryan, I found it. How is it? The situation is much worse than you imagined. Sophia Shaw didn't only misappropriate company funds. She also used the company's name to borrow a large loan from the bank. That money was transferred away too. The total exceeds 30 million. I drew in a cold breath. 30 million. She really dared. Do we have evidence? Yes. I sent it to your email. Good. Thank you, Attorney Carter. I'll treat you to dinner another day. After hanging up, I opened my email. Inside was a detailed financial report. Every transfer had bank records to support it. Ironclad evidence. I stared at the screen, and the corner of my mouth slowly lifted. Sophia Shaw, you think you won? In truth, you dug yourself a pit. A bottomless pit. Now, it is my turn. The next morning, I went to the law firm. I discussed the matter with Attorney Carter for a long time. In the end, we decided not to rush to the police. Instead, we first released one piece of information. A piece of news that would make Sophia panic. That afternoon, news began spreading through Riverport's business circle. Grandview Group was suspected of major financial fraud and was about to be investigated. The news was like a bomb, shaking the business world. Grandview Group's stock hit limit down that day. Sophia became frantic. She did not know where the news had come from. But she knew that if the matter was not suppressed quickly, the consequences would be severe. She held an emergency board meeting to discuss countermeasures. But the directors panicked too. Some suggested calling the police. Some suggested using connections. Some suggested selling shares. The meeting room turned into chaos. Finally, Sophia made the decision: stabilize the stock price first. Everything else could be dealt with later. She asked Marcus to use all his connections to find the source of the rumor. At the same time, she personally called media outlets, trying to suppress negative reports. But it was useless. The rumor seemed to grow wings, spreading wider and wider. The next day, new information was exposed. It claimed that Grandview Group's CEO, Sophia Shaw, was suspected of embezzlement. It also included several blurry bank transfer screenshots. Although the exact numbers could not be seen clearly, it was enough to cause a sensation. Sophia panicked completely. She found Marcus and demanded to know if he had leaked the news. Marcus of course denied it. For the first time, the two of them argued. Did you transfer the money into your private account? Sophia demanded. How could I? I did everything according to your instructions, Marcus defended himself. Then why are there screenshots of bank transfers? How would I know? Maybe the problem came from your side. Bullshit. I've always been careful. Then tell me what we do now. The two argued until they parted on bad terms. All of it was within my expectations. I wanted them to turn against each other. To suspect each other. Only then could I find a breakthrough. On the third day, I received Henry Chen's call. Ryan, I heard you've been making some moves. Mr. Chen, you already know? Not bad. Henry's tone carried approval. But relying only on public pressure is not enough. Sophia Shaw has operated in Riverport for years. Her network is deep. These pieces of news can only make her uncomfortable for a few days. They can't shake her foundation. You need something harsher. Please guide me, Mr. Chen. Simple. Henry said. You have that piece of land, don't you? Use it as collateral and get a loan. Then acquire Grandview Group's scattered shares. When your stake reaches a certain level, you can call a temporary shareholders meeting. At that time, the evidence in your hand will become useful. I slapped my thigh. That was right. Why hadn't I thought of that? But bank loans take time, and the amount may not be enough. You don't need to worry about that, Henry said. I contacted a bank for you. The bank president is an old friend of mine. That land is valued at 75 million. You can borrow 60 million against it. That will be enough. I was so excited I could barely speak. Mr. Chen, I can't thank you enough. If you ever need me, just say the word. No need for formalities. Go. Do it properly. After hanging up, I immediately began moving. Henry Chen was very efficient. The next day, the loan was approved. $60 million arrived. I began buying large amounts of Grandview Group's scattered shares. There were not many tradable shares on the market, roughly 15% of total equity. In 3 days, I bought all of them. Together with my original holdings, although Sophia had tricked me into transferring them away and the legal process was not yet finalized, I was still theoretically a shareholder. I now controlled around 20%. Not the largest shareholder, but enough to call a temporary shareholders meeting. I asked Attorney Carter to submit an application to Grandview Group's board, requesting a temporary shareholders meeting to re-elect board members. When Sophia received the application, she was in her office flirting with Marcus. Her face changed instantly after reading it. Ryan Walker? He still hasn't given up? Marcus leaned over and glanced at it. Where did he get money to buy shares? I don't know. Sophia frowned. But no matter how many shares he has, he can't stir up a storm. The board is full of my people now. He won't make any waves. Marcus nodded. True. Let him jump around. We can use this chance to kick him out completely. The two exchanged a smile. They did not take me seriously at all. But they did not know I had already set the trap. I was only waiting for them to step inside. The temporary shareholders meeting was scheduled for 1 week later. During that week, I prepared many things. I organized all the evidence of Sophia's misappropriation into files and made several copies. I also found several former employees who had been fired by Sophia. I persuaded them to testify. They had all been framed by Sophia before and resented the company, so they were willing to come forward and expose her. Everything was ready. All that remained was the day of the meeting. The night before the meeting, I received an unfamiliar call. Ryan Walker, long time no see. It was Marcus's voice. What do you want? I want to talk. We have nothing to talk about. Don't be so cold. We've known each other for a while, after all. Marcus sounded relaxed. I know you have some things in your hand that are bad for Sophia. Name your price. How much before you hand them over? I laughed. You think I'll sell? Why not? Marcus asked. You're short on money now, aren't you? Living in that broken old neighborhood can't be comfortable, right? As long as you hand over the evidence, I'll give you 750,000. How about it? Enough for the rest of your life. 750,000? I sneered. Marcus Lane, are you trying to send away a beggar? Then how much do you want? Marcus's voice grew impatient. What I want, you can't afford. Stop wasting your breath. See you at the meeting tomorrow. I hung up. Marcus called several more times. I did not answer. Finally, he sent a text, Ryan Walker, you'll regret this. I smiled and deleted the message. Regret? The ones who should regret this are you. The next morning at 9, I arrived at Grandview Group headquarters. The meeting room was full. There were board members, representatives of major shareholders, and notary personnel. Sophia sat at the head table in a black suit, looking dignified and graceful. Marcus sat beside her, also in formal attire, wearing a smile. When I entered, everyone looked at me. Some whispered. Some looked disdainful. Some enjoyed the show. Seeing me, Sophia's lips curved into a mocking smile. Well, isn't this the major shareholder, Mr. Walker? Long time no see. I heard you moved back to an old neighborhood. What happened? Bankrupt? Need me to support you a little? After all, we were husband and wife once. I can't bear to see you sleep on the street. Her words drew a round of laughter. I did not get angry. I found a seat and sat down. President Shaw, today is a shareholders' meeting, not a reunion. Let's discuss business. Sophia snorted. Fine. Let's discuss business. Ryan Walker, you requested this temporary shareholders' meeting. What exactly do you want? Simple. I said. I request a re-election of board members. And I request the removal of current CEO Ms. Sophia Shaw from her position. The room instantly erupted. On what basis? Sophia slammed the table and stood. On the basis that you embezzled company funds and harmed shareholder interests. I took the financial report from my briefcase and raised it. This is the bank flow record showing how, over the past 2 years, you transferred company funds through Marcus Lane's accounts. The total amount reaches $34.5 million. Every transaction can be verified. The meeting room fell quiet. Everyone stared at the report in my hand. Sophia's face changed. But she quickly steadied herself. Ryan Walker, you're slandering me. Where did you get fake evidence? You forged it, didn't you? Everyone, don't believe him. He hates me because I kicked him out of the company, so he fabricated evidence to frame me. Exactly, Marcus stood too. Ryan Walker, you're despicable. You think you can bring down Sophia with one fake report? You're too naive. We have lawyers. We can sue you for defamation. The two echoed each other flawlessly. If I had not prepared in advance, they might truly have bluffed me. I smiled and took a flash drive from my briefcase. Whether it's fake or not, we'll know after watching. This contains recordings of Sophia Shaw and Marcus Lane's calls. And videos of their private transactions. They are all originals, unedited. Sophia's face went completely white. She had not expected me to have this move. You were monitoring me? It wasn't me who monitored you, I said. You were careless and got recorded. As for who recorded you, I won't say. In any case, these are enough to prove your crimes. I handed the flash drive to the notary. The notary played the contents in front of everyone. First came several call recordings. Marcus, has that money been transferred? It's transferred. $4.5 million has reached your account. Good. Be careful. Don't leave traces. Don't worry. You can trust me. Then came several videos. In one, Sophia and Marcus were in a CAF, exchanging an envelope. Inside the envelope was a check. The amount was $750,000. Another video was in Sophia's office. The two held each other and whispered nauseating sweet words. The expressions of everyone in the room grew more and more interesting. Shock. Anger. Amusement. Sophia collapsed into her chair, bloodless. Marcus was not much better, his forehead covered in sweat. Now, does anyone still think I'm framing her? I asked. No one answered. The facts were right there. No one could argue. I propose immediately removing Sophia Shaw from the CEO position. At the same time, pursue her legal responsibility. Raise your hand if you agree. I raised my hand first. Then a second hand. A third. Eventually, except for a few die-hard supporters of Sophia, most people raised their hands. Sophia's position was gone. She shot up, pointing at my nose and cursing, Ryan Walker, you are ruthless. But don't forget. Your shares are still in my hands. Even if I step down, you still can't take back the company. I laughed. Sophia Shaw, do you think I truly care about those shares? I did not come today to take the company back. I only came to make you understand one truth. Heaven watches what people do. One day, you pay for everything you have done. As for those shares, I paused. I don't want them. Consider them the price of a lesson for you. After saying that, I turned and left the meeting room. Behind me came Sophia's hysterical scream. Ryan Walker, stop right there. You can't leave. If you leave, what am I supposed to do? I did not look back. The moment I walked out of the building, sunlight spilled across my body. Warm. I let out a long breath. An indescribable ease filled my chest. I won this battle. And I won beautifully. In the days that followed, Sophia and Marcus were taken away by the police for investigation. Grandview Group stock crashed and approached bankruptcy. The board was reorganized, and new management took over the mess. As for me, I took that piece of land and began a new project. I decided to build a large commercial complex on it. Shopping, dining, entertainment, all in one. A new landmark for Riverport. Henry Chen introduced several reliable partners to me. The project progressed smoothly. Half a year later, the commercial complex officially opened. On opening day, crowds filled the entire place. It was unprecedented. I stood inside the top floor office and looked down at the bustling city. My heart was full of emotion. A year earlier, I had been a failure with nothing. Now, I had stood up again. Higher than before. Steadier than before. For all of this, I had to thank that mysterious old man. And also the woman who betrayed me. Without her, I might never have learned how strong I truly was. My phone rang. It was Henry Chen. "Ryan, congratulations on the opening." "Thank you, Mr. Chen. This was all thanks to your help." "No need to say that. It was your own ability." Henry laughed. "By the way, my elder brother wants to meet you. Are you free?" "I'm free. Anytime." "Good. I'll arrange the time and let you know." After hanging up, I looked at the sunset outside. The clouds at the horizon were dyed golden. Beautiful. Warm. I knew my new life had only just begun. 3 months after opening, the commercial complex had already stabilized. Daily foot traffic stayed above 30,000. On weekends, it could reach 50 or 60,000. The merchants were making enormous profits, each smiling from ear to ear. I stood before the top floor window, watching the crowd below. Yet my heart did not feel much joy. Not because I was ungrateful, but because I felt something was missing. Perhaps it was the pleasure of revenge. Sophia and Marcus had already been sentenced. Sophia was sentenced to 12 years for embezzlement and occupational misappropriation. Marcus, as an accomplice, was sentenced to 8 years. Both appeals had been rejected. The dust had settled. By reason, I should have been happy. But every quiet night, I would remember things from the past. I remembered Sophia 7 years ago, standing beneath a cherry blossom tree in a white dress, smiling at me. At that time, there had been light in her eyes. When did she begin to change? Perhaps after she became CEO. Power and money can truly corrode a person's soul. I sighed and returned to my desk. On the desk was an invitation. It had been delivered by Henry Chen's people. It invited me to dinner at his home that night. I picked up the invitation and opened it. There was only one line: 7 o'clock tonight. The old place. The old place? I froze. I had known Henry Chen for this long, but we had no old place. Our only connection had been the parking lot where he came to find me the first time. Could it be? I looked at my watch. 5 in the afternoon. 1 hour left. I packed up and went downstairs to drive. The car left the city and traveled along a mountain road. Half an hour later, I arrived before a manor gate. The manor was enormous, built against the mountain. White walls. Gray tiles. It carried the charm of a traditional garden. 2 bodyguards in black stood at the entrance. I gave my name. They checked, then let me in. The car drove another 5 minutes along a tree-lined road before the main building appeared. It was a 3-story traditional-style villa. Carved beams. Painted pillars. Elegant and ancient. In the courtyard, several osmanthus trees were in bloom. Their fragrance filled the air. I had just parked when Henry Chen walked out. He still wore that gray tunic suit and cloth shoes, smiling broadly. "Ryan, you're here. Come in. Mr. Chen, this place is really hard to find." "Ha ha ha. I'm old. I like quiet." Henry led me inside. "Come. My elder brother has been waiting a long time." My heart skipped. That legendary old man. I was finally going to meet him. Entering the living room, sandalwood fragrance flowed toward me. The room was large and decorated in an old, elegant style. Mahogany furniture. Calligraphy and paintings on the wall. An incense burner stood in the corner. An old man sat in a wheelchair, his back to me. Hearing footsteps, he slowly turned. I froze. I knew this old man. That winter 3 years ago, the old man I helped up from the roadside. It was him. "Young man, we meet again." His voice was weak, but his eyes were bright. Like 2 stars shining with wisdom. You are Mr. Chen's elder brother?" "Yes. My name is Arthur Chen." The old man smiled. "Thank you for saving my life back then. It was only a small favor. Please don't take it to heart. To you, it was a small favor. To me, it saved my life." Arthur Chen gestured for me to sit. "I do not like owing favors. So I had Henry give you that land. Consider it repayment." I quickly said, "That land was too valuable. I feel unworthy of it." "What is there to be unworthy of?" Arthur waved his hand. "You saved my life. I gave you a piece of land. Fair trade. Besides, only in your hands can that land realize its true value. If it fell into someone else's hands, it might have been ruined." I knew who he meant by someone else. Sophia had once wanted that land too. She wanted to buy it cheaply, then resell it for profit. Unfortunately, she had failed to get it. By the way, I heard you brought down Grandview Group? Arthur asked. It wasn't me who brought it down. They destroyed themselves. Ha ha ha. Well said. Arthur laughed loudly. The laughter affected his lungs, and he coughed several times. Henry quickly stepped forward and patted his back. Brother, don't get too excited. I'm fine. I'm happy. Arthur stopped coughing and looked at me. Ryan, have you thought about what you'll do next? I'll run the commercial complex properly first. As for other things, I haven't thought much yet. Are you interested in doing bigger business? I froze. Bigger business? Yes. Arthur pointed outside the window. See these mountains? This land? They are all mine. I am old now. I no longer have the energy to manage them. I want to find a successor. My heartbeat accelerated. Successor? What did that mean? It meant I would inherit an enormous commercial empire. A mysterious empire so powerful even Henry Chen respected it. You mean yes. I want you to succeed me. My mouth opened, but I did not know what to say. This news came too suddenly. I was not mentally prepared at all. You do not need to answer me now, Arthur said. I'll give you 1 month to think. Once you've thought it through, give me your answer. If you are willing, I will hand all my resources to you. If you are not, I will not force you. You will still own that land. You will still be the owner of the commercial complex. I will not take back what I gave you because you refuse. I took a deep breath. Mr. Chen, may I ask a question? Ask. Why choose me? Arthur looked at me and remained silent for a while. Because you are kind. 3 years ago, when you helped me, you did not know who I was. You simply wanted to help a stranger. In this society, people like that are becoming rarer. I need a kind person to inherit everything I have. Not those jackals and wolves who only chase profit. I fell silent. Kindness. I had not heard that word in a long time. In the treacherous business world, kindness often means weakness. It means being bullied. I had suffered many losses because of kindness. But now, someone was telling me kindness was a virtue. A quality worth passing on. Mr. Chen, thank you for recognizing me. I will consider it carefully. Good. I'll wait for your answer. Arthur nodded. Henry, see Ryan out. Henry walked me outside. When we reached my car, he patted my shoulder. Ryan, think carefully. My brother is very accurate when judging people. If he chose you, it means you truly have something extraordinary. Don't disappoint his expectations. I won't. I got into the car and started the engine. The car slowly left the manor. Through the rearview mirror, I saw Henry standing at the entrance, watching me leave. Night gradually deepened. The manor lights grew farther and farther away. Finally, they vanished into darkness. I drove down the mountain road, my mind in chaos. Succeed him? Succeed what kind of empire? Who exactly was Arthur Chen? How enormous were his assets? These questions tangled in my head like a knot. I decided to stop thinking for now. Back home, I took a shower and lay down on the bed. My phone rang. It was a text from an unfamiliar number. Ryan Walker, don't think you won. I'm out. Wait for me. My heart tightened. Who? Sophia? Impossible. She had just been sentenced. There was no way she was out. Marcus? Also impossible. Then who was it? I replied, who are you? I waited a long time. No response. I tried calling. The phone was turned off. An uneasy feeling faintly rose inside me. But I did not pay too much attention. Perhaps it was only a prank. The next day, I went to the company as usual. The moment I arrived at the office, my secretary, Lucy, rushed in. Mr. Walker, bad news. What happened? Someone reported our commercial complex for fire safety violations. This morning, the fire department came. They said they want to shut us down. I shot to my feet. Fire safety violations? We clearly passed inspection before opening. I don't know what happened, Lucy said, near tears. They said someone reported us, so they must inspect again. The inspectors are already downstairs. Please go take a look. I hurried downstairs. In the first-floor lobby stood more than a dozen uniformed people. The leader was a middle-aged man with glasses and a serious expression. You are Ryan Walker? I am. Someone reported that your commercial complex has major fire safety hazards. We are conducting a full inspection. Please cooperate with our work. No problem, I said. But I want to know who made the report. We cannot disclose that. The middle-aged man waved, and his people began inspecting everywhere. I knew very well someone was targeting me. As for who, was there any need to ask? It had to be the person behind last night's text. The inspection lasted 2 hours. The result was naturally that multiple fire safety hazards had been found. The middle-aged man handed me a correction notice. Mr. Walker, based on the inspection results, your commercial complex must suspend operations for rectification. When rectification is complete and approved, business may resume. I took the notice and looked at it. The rectification period stated, indefinite. In other words, if I did not handle the person behind this, the commercial complex would never reopen. Mr. Walker, sorry. Official business. The man finished speaking and left with his people. The merchants in the lobby immediately surrounded me. Mr. Walker, what's going on? We just paid rent. How can we shut down now? Mr. Walker, you have to give us an explanation. I raised my hand and signaled for silence. Everyone, don't worry. I will handle this. During the shutdown, I will personally cover everyone's losses. Please go back first and wait for my update. Only then did the merchants disperse. I returned to my office, sat down, and rubbed my temples. It seemed the other party had real power. Being able to use connections inside the fire department meant someone influential was backing this. I took out my phone and called Henry Chen. Mr. Chen, something happened on my side. What happened? I explained the situation. Henry was silent for a while. Who did you offend? I don't know. Last night I received a threatening text. Today this happened. Do you still have the text? Yes. Send it to me. I forwarded the text to him. A while later, Henry called back. That number is an overseas virtual number. We can't trace the source. The other side is cautious. Mr. Chen, do you have any leads? Not yet. But there are only a few people in Riverport who can move the fire department. I'll check for you. Good. Thank you, Mr. Chen. After hanging up, I leaned back and closed my eyes. My mind turned quickly. Who was it? Sophia's family? No. Sophia's parents were ordinary people. They did not have that kind of power. Marcus's family? Even less likely. Then who? Suddenly, I thought of someone. Someone I had overlooked. Grandview Group's former second-largest shareholder, Victor Lowe. After Sophia's scandal, he disappeared. I had always assumed he was hiding to avoid being dragged into it. Now it seemed he had not been hiding. He had been laying a trap in the dark. Victor Lowe had operated in Riverport for decades. His network was deep. He might indeed know people in the fire department. If it was him, then this matter was troublesome. Victor Lowe was ruthless and vindictive. When I brought down Sophia, I had indirectly damaged his interests. He definitely would not let it go. Thinking of this, I opened my eyes. I picked up the phone and called Attorney Carter. Attorney Carter, help me investigate someone. Who? Victor Lowe. What do you need? His recent movements. Who he has met. Everything. Good. I'll do it as soon as possible. After hanging up, I walked out of the office. Standing in the hallway, looking at the empty mall, my heart was full of mixed feelings. I had finally risen again. And now I faced new trouble. Sure enough, nothing in this world is smooth sailing. But I would not give up. I never did before. I never will now. No matter who the opponent is, I will fight to the end. I took out my phone and sent a group message to all merchants. Dear merchants, due to an unexpected situation, the commercial complex will suspend operations starting today. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. During the shutdown, all rent will be fully refunded. Please be patient. I will resolve this as soon as possible. Once the message was sent, my phone began vibrating like crazy. Calls, texts, messages. They came like a storm. I did not answer or reply. Words were useless now. Only solving the problem could give everyone an explanation. For the next 3 days, I ran everywhere. Looking for connections. Asking favors. Trying to find out who was behind this. But I found nothing. The other side hid deeply, leaving no trace. On the 4th day, Henry Chen called. Ryan, I found it. Who? Victor Lowe. As expected. Why is he doing this? Because of his son, Daniel Lowe. Daniel Lowe? Yes, Henry said. Daniel was the vice president of Grandview Group. After Sophia's incident, he was also implicated. Although he was not sentenced, his reputation was ruined, and he could no longer operate in Riverport. Victor put that debt on your head. I understood. Victor Lowe was avenging his son. Mr. Chen, what should I do? Victor has quite a bit of power in Riverport. If you face him head-on, you won't gain much. Then what do you suggest? I arranged a meeting with him for you tomorrow night. Talk face to face. See what conditions he offers. Good. Thank you, Mr. Chen. The next evening, I arrived at the appointed place on time. It was a private club. Luxurious and shining with gold. A server led me into a private room. Victor Lowe was already there. He was in his 60s, with white hair but strong energy. He wore a traditional jacket and rolled a string of prayer beads in his hand. Seeing me enter, he did not even lift his eyelids. Mr. Walker. You're here. Sit. I sat down. The server poured tea. Mr. Lowe. Long time no see. Yes. Long time no see. Victor lifted the cup and took a sip. I heard you've been doing well recently. Not bad. Nothing compared to your comfortable life. Heh. I'm old now. I don't have many pursuits left. Victor set down the cup. I only want to live peacefully. But some people refuse to let me be peaceful. I knew he was talking about me. Mr. Lowe, I know you are dissatisfied with me. But regarding Grandview Group, I had no choice. You know what Sophia Shaw and Marcus Lane did. I simply made the truth public. Truth? Victor sneered. What is truth? You brought down Sophia Shaw, obtained that land, and built a commercial complex. That is the truth you wanted, isn't it? Don't pretend to be so noble. Business is war. The winner is king, the loser is dust. You won, so whatever you say is right. I lost, so I don't even have the right to speak. But don't forget. Fortune changes hands. You won today. That doesn't mean you will always win. I remained silent for a while. Mr. Lowe, what do you want? Simple. Victor said. Sell your commercial complex to me. I offer 30 million. 30 million? Just the construction cost of my complex exceeded 45 million. Add in the land value, and it was worth at least 120 million. His 30 million was no different from robbery. Mr. Lowe, that price is too low. Low? Victor laughed. Ryan, you need to understand. You are not negotiating with me right now. I am giving you a chance. If you don't sell, your commercial complex will never reopen. I can afford to wait. Can you? Your merchants are losing money every day. Can you compensate them? I clenched my fists. Victor was forcing me. He knew I could not drag this out. Mr. Lowe, you are trying to drive me into a corner. Drive you into a corner? Victor shook his head. I am teaching you how to behave. Young people should not be too arrogant. This society is not what you imagine. Sometimes, taking one step back opens the sky. I took a deep breath. Mr. Lowe, give me 3 days to consider. Fine. 3 days. Victor stood. 3 days later, if you still refuse, don't blame me for being heartless. After saying that, he turned and left. Only I remained in the room. I sat there and looked at the teacup before me. The tea had already gone cold. My heart felt cold too. Did I really have to give up? Give up everything I had worked so hard to build? I could not accept that. But if I did not give up, what else could I do? Victor Lowe was too powerful. I was not his match. I picked up the phone, wanting to call Henry Chen. But after thinking, I put it down. Henry had already helped me so much. I could not always rely on him. I had to solve this myself. I left the club and drove aimlessly through the streets. Streetlights lit up one by one. The city night was still noisy. But my heart was barren. My phone rang. An unfamiliar number. I hesitated, then answered. Hello, is this Mr. Ryan Walker? I am. Who is this? Who I am isn't important. The voice on the other end was low. What matters is, I can help you solve your current problem. I became alert. What do you mean? Victor Lowe is not invincible. He has a fatal weakness. As long as you grab that weakness, he is finished. What weakness? His son, Daniel Lowe. What about Daniel? Daniel is overseas and suspected of money laundering. The amount involved reaches 150 million. Victor doesn't know about this. But if it is exposed, Daniel will go to prison. Victor has only one son. He definitely won't stand by and watch his son rot in prison. So as long as you have evidence of Daniel's money laundering, Victor won't dare touch you. My heartbeat accelerated. How do you know this? I have my channels, the person said. I can give you the evidence. But the condition is that you help me do one thing. What? After Victor Lowe falls, I want half of his assets. I fell silent. This was a deal. A dangerous deal. Who was this person? Why help me? And why did they want Victor Lowe's assets? I had no answers. But I knew this was my only chance. Fine. I agree. Smart. The person laughed. I'll send the evidence to your email tomorrow. Happy cooperation. After hanging up, I let out a long breath. It seemed heaven was still standing on my side. Victor Lowe, you think you have already won? Wait and see. Early the next morning, I opened my email. Sure enough, I received an encrypted attachment. After extracting it, I found dozens of documents inside. Bank flows. Transfer records. Screenshots of chat logs. Several call recordings. All evidence of Daniel Lowe laundering money overseas. I read through them one by one, becoming more and more shocked. Daniel had far more courage than his father. He had used overseas accounts to launder money for people with unclear backgrounds, taking massive commissions. The amount involved was terrifying. If this evidence became public, Daniel would never get out in this lifetime. I closed the laptop and leaned back in my chair. Now, I had leverage. But I did not rush to find Victor. Because I knew the time was not right. I wanted to wait until he was most smug. Then deliver the fatal blow. Let him taste what it felt like to fall from heaven into hell. For the next 2 days, I stayed quiet. The commercial complex remained closed. The merchants called daily to urge me, and I comforted them one by one. Victor also called several times, asking what I had decided. I said I was still considering and told him to wait. He was somewhat impatient, but he agreed. On the third night, I took the initiative to call Victor. Mr. Lowe, I've thought it through. Oh? And? I agree to sell, but the price is 90 million. 90 million? Victor sneered. Ryan Walker, are you still dreaming? Mr. Lowe, my commercial complex is worth that. What it's worth isn't for you to decide. Victor said. I said 30 million, so it's 30 million. Not a penny more. If you don't accept, then let your commercial complex rot there. Mr. Lowe, don't force me. Force you? Victor laughed. I am forcing you. What can you do? Ryan Walker, let me tell you something. In Riverport, I, Victor Lowe, have the final say. You're an outsider, and you want to fight me? Be sensible. Sign the contract and take the money. Otherwise, I'll make sure you can't stay in Riverport. I was silent for a while. Mr. Lowe, are you sure you want to do this? Sure. Fine. Then don't regret it. Regret? Victor burst into laughter. I, Victor Lowe, never regret anything I do. Ryan Walker, don't say I didn't give you a chance. You were the one who didn't cherish it. Then he hung up. I set down the phone and smiled. Victor Lowe, you are too arrogant. So arrogant that you have forgotten your own weakness. The next morning, I went to Victor Lowe's company. His company was in an office building downtown, occupying 3 entire floors. The receptionist recognized me and froze when she saw me. Mr. Walker, why are you here? I need to discuss something important with Mr. Lowe. Mr. Lowe is in a meeting. Please wait. No need. I'll go to him directly. I bypassed the front desk and walked toward Victor's office. The receptionist chased after me. Mr. Walker, you can't go in. Mr. Lowe really is in a meeting. I ignored her and pushed open the office door. Inside, Victor sat on a sofa chatting with several people. Seeing me barge in, his expression darkened. Ryan Walker. What are you doing? Mr. Lowe, I'm here to give you a gift. I took a folder from my briefcase and threw it onto the coffee table before him. Victor glanced at the folder without opening it. What does this mean? You'll know after looking. Victor hesitated, then opened the folder. After only one glance, his face changed. He slammed it shut and looked up at me, eyes full of shock and fury. Where did you get this? That doesn't matter. I said. What matters is that this evidence is enough to make Daniel spend the rest of his life in prison. Victor's lips trembled. He stared at me as if he wanted to eat me alive. Ryan Walker, you are ruthless. Same to you. I said. Mr. Lowe, now can we renegotiate the price? Victor fell silent. The people behind him looked at one another, not knowing what had happened. After a long time, Victor finally spoke. All of you, leave. The people hurriedly stood and left the office. When the door closed, only the two of us remained. Victor leaned back on the sofa, as if all strength had been drained from him. How much do you want? I don't want money. I said. I want your company. What? Victor shot upright. Are you insane? I'm not. I said. Mr. Lowe, you're old. It's time to retire. Rather than handing your company to someone else, hand it to me. I can guarantee I will develop it better. You're dreaming. Victor roared. My company is my lifetime's work. I will never hand it to anyone. Then there's nothing else to say. I stood. I'll give this evidence to the police and let Daniel reflect in prison. I turned to leave. Stop. Victor called me back. I stopped but did not turn. Ryan Walker, do you have to go this far? Mr. Lowe, you went this far first. You wanted my commercial complex to force me into a dead end. I am only using your own methods against you. Victor was silent. After a long time, he spoke. Fine. I agree. But you must guarantee that the evidence will never leak. I guarantee it. And you must treat my company's employees well. They have followed me for many years. Do not mistreat them. I will. Victor closed his eyes and waved. Leave. I don't want to see you again. I turned and left the office. In the hallway, several executives were still waiting. When they saw me come out, their eyes were complicated. I ignored them and walked straight into the elevator. The moment the doors closed, I let out a long breath. I won this battle too. I won Victor Lowe's entire business empire. But I knew this was only the beginning. Greater challenges were still ahead. 1 week later, I officially took over Victor's company. Victor announced retirement and took his wife abroad. Before leaving, he called me. Ryan Walker, you won. But I hope you remember what you promised today. Treat my employees well. I will. I said. Mr. Lowe, take care. Take care. After hanging up, I stood in Victor's former office and looked out at the scenery. From here, I could see the entire skyline of Riverport. Towering buildings. Busy traffic. A city in full prosperity. From this moment on, Riverport's business map had a new major player. Me. Ryan Walker. Over the next few months, I carried out sweeping reforms. I integrated Victor's company with my commercial complex and established a new corporate group. I named it Voyager Group. The meaning was obvious. I would lead this ship toward farther horizons. On the day Voyager Group was established, I held a grand reception. I invited prominent figures from every circle in Riverport. Henry Chen and Arthur Chen also came. Arthur sat in his wheelchair, looking much healthier. Ryan, congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Chen. This was all thanks to your help. Don't say that. It was your own ability. Arthur smiled. By the way, have you thought about the matter I mentioned before? I knew what he meant. Succession. Mr. Chen, I've thought it through. I am willing. Arthur's eyes lit up. Good. Good. I knew I had not chosen wrongly. From today onward, you are my successor. Everything I have is yours. He reached out and held my hand. His hand was thin and cold. But powerful. Ryan, the road ahead depends on you. Remember, before doing business, first learn to be a good person. When your character is upright, business will naturally be upright too. I will remember. After the reception, I saw Arthur to his car. He sat inside, rolled down the window, and looked at me. Ryan, come to my manor tomorrow. There are things I need to hand over to you. All right, Mr. Chen. The car slowly left. I stood at the entrance and watched it disappear into the night. A strange feeling filled my heart. As if I had completed something important. And also taken on a heavy burden. The next day, I arrived at Arthur's manor on time. Henry was already waiting at the entrance. Ryan, you're here. Come with me. He led me deep into the manor. We passed through a bamboo grove and arrived before a separate building. The building was not large, only 2 floors, and looked ordinary. But its security was extremely strict. Fingerprint lock. Iris recognition. Several cameras. Henry verified his fingerprint and iris, and the door opened. We walked in. Inside was an enormous basement. The basement was filled with rows of filing cabinets. Henry opened one cabinet and took out a thick document bag. Inside this is the full list of my brother's assets. Domestic and overseas properties. Equity holdings. Funds. Artwork. And more. The total value is around 4.5 billion. I drew in a sharp breath. 4.5 billion? That far exceeded my imagination. All of this is now yours. Henry handed the document bag to me. I accepted it with trembling hands. $4.5 billion. Money I could never spend in one lifetime. There is one more thing. Henry took a small box from the cabinet. He opened it. Inside was a seal. The seal was carved from top-grade white jade. 2 words were engraved on it, Arthur Chen. This is my brother's private seal. With it, you can mobilize all his resources. Remember, this seal weighs more than your life. I accepted the seal solemnly and carefully put it away. Mr. Chen, please thank Grandpa Arthur for me. I will guard this seal well. And I will manage everything he left behind properly. Henry patted my shoulder. I trust you. From that day on, my life changed completely. I became Riverport's youngest billionaire. No. I should say multi-billionaire. My name frequently appeared in financial headlines. Interviews. Invitations. Cooperation offers. They came one after another. But I did not lose myself. I still lived a low-key life. I still stayed in that old neighborhood. I still drove my ordinary car. I still ate roadside breakfast. Because I knew external things were empty. Only inner strength was real. After Arthur handed over everything, his health declined day by day. 3 months later, he passed away peacefully in the manor. He was 87. On the day of the funeral, many people came. Business tycoons. Political figures. And mysterious people I had never seen before. They had all come to send Arthur Chen on his final journey. I stood before the memorial hall and looked at Arthur's portrait. In the photo, he smiled kindly, his gaze deep. As if telling me, young man, the road ahead depends on you. I bowed deeply 3 times. In my heart, I said silently, Grandpa Arthur, don't worry. I will not disappoint you. After Arthur passed away, I buried his ashes on the hillside behind the manor. There was a huge osmanthus tree there. Every autumn, the osmanthus bloomed, and its fragrance filled the whole valley. I often visited him. I sat beneath the osmanthus tree and talked to him. About the difficulties I faced. About the achievements I made. Although he could no longer hear me, I felt that he could sense it. Another half-year passed. Voyager Group had become one of Riverport's largest private enterprises. Its business covered real estate, commerce, finance, and technology. It had more than 10,000 employees. I became a true business giant. But there was always one regret in my heart. I had never found the mysterious person who sent me the evidence of Daniel Lowe's money laundering. He had helped me enormously. Yet I did not even know who he was. I once tried to trace that number, but found nothing. It was as if the person had vanished from the world. Until one day, I received a letter. There was no signature. No address. Only one sentence, Ryan Walker, you did very well. I am proud of you. The handwriting was messy, like that of an old person. I held the letter and stared at it for a long time. Then I suddenly understood. That mysterious person might have been Arthur Chen. He had been watching me from the shadows all along. Testing me. Seeing whether I was truly worthy of being entrusted with everything. I passed the test. That was why he gave me everything. Thinking of this, my eyes became wet. Grandpa Arthur, thank you. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for everything you did for me. I will not fail your expectations. I will develop Voyager Group into a first-class company not only nationwide, but globally. I will use my own way to give back to society. To help those who need help. Just as you once helped me. I carefully folded the letter and placed it in the safe. Together with that seal. They were the most precious treasures of my life. Outside the window, the sun set. The clouds at the horizon were dyed golden. Beautiful. Warm. I stood by the window and looked at the city where I had fought for so many years. My heart was full of gratitude. Grateful to those who helped me. Grateful even to those who hurt me. They made me grow. They made me stronger. The road ahead was still long. But I had confidence to keep walking. Because I knew that no matter what difficulties I faced, as long as I did not give up, would always find a way. Because I was Ryan Walker. A man who climbed up from the bottom. A man who would never be knocked down. My phone rang. It was my secretary, Lucy. "Mr. Walker, all materials for tomorrow's board meeting are ready." "Good. Thank you. Also, Mr. Walker, there is one more thing." "Go ahead." "We just received an invitation from the State Chamber of Commerce. They are inviting you to serve as the next chairman of the chamber." I froze. Chairman of the State Chamber of Commerce? That was an extremely important position. It represented the highest honor and status in the business world. "I understand. Will you go?" "Yes. Why wouldn't I? I want everyone to know that a man who started as a street vendor can also sit in that position." "Understood. I'll reply for you." After hanging up, I looked at the night view outside. Neon lights flickered. Millions of homes glowed. This city held too many of my memories. Laughter. Tears. Success. Failure. But now, all of that had passed. A new chapter was about to begin. And I was ready. That's all for today's story. Remember to subscribe and leave a comment.